Normally, Dominic Grieve is quite sensible, but he says that it's not a particularly commendable approach to go for a blanket quashing of the convictions of those people caught up in the Horizon scandal. He says this would be rather like a royal pardon. It wouldn't necessarily get rid of the convictions. That's not true. That's not true. And it certainly isn't necessary for everybody involved in that scandal to have to go through an individual court case to determine whether or not their previous conviction should be upheld. Their previous conviction should be quashed on the basis that evidence has now emerged that the Horizon system was faulty at source, number one, and number two, that people were fiddling with it, which hadn't been revealed. And number three, that the prosecution evidence was not made available to the defence. Those three grounds alone are enough to destroy the basis of all the convictions of those people caught up in the Horizon scandal. There is no need to listen to the individual plea and to listen to the individual mitigation, because it's there. And there's a debate at the moment. So a number of former Justice Secretaries, Robert Buckland and the Labour peer Charlie Falconer, have made it very clear that they support a blanket action, and so people like the former chair of the Criminal Cases Review Commission, Professor Graham Zellick, KC, is out on a limb there. I'm pretty confident that given the necessary resources, the CCRC could do this job very quickly, and the Court of Appeal could respond with equal expedition. So legislation isn't necessary. Legislation, I think, is necessary because the government is involved in this, and the government needs to put this right as well. So it's not. Of course, the court could just simply rule. Zellick is right, but the government should be involved, because the government is involved, because it's such a major shareholder of the post office. The scandal should not have been allowed to go on this long. The first job is to exonerate the people caught up in the scandal, and that, I think, includes those people whose sentences were upheld. And it's important that they aren't overlooked, simply because they were first into the system to try and claim justice for themselves, and that went wrong. It doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a review of a review. Everybody, by definition, should be exonerated because the basis on which the charges were laid is faulty, and deeply faulty. It's not just that it's faulty, it's that it's wrong ethically, politically, legally. And that means that in the end, criminal charges must be brought against the post office and against Fujitsu. They must. In the meantime, the first job is for Fujitsu and the post office to put their hands in their pocket and pay out this the money that was taken. The money that was taken. Compensation is a third issue, and the various newspaper articles and reports which are going out at the moment are conveniently fudging these three independent issues, and they love the term compensation to cover both actual compensation for harm caused plus the money taken. And one shouldn't fudge. One shouldn't fudge this. These are different things. The money taken by the post office should be returned with interest, and then compensation should be considered. So I can well understand how an individual court case for an individual person may be necessary to determine how much compensation is appropriate. But that's another matter. And that should happen with speed. The return of the money should happen automatically. So the fact that these people are exonerated automatically means that the post office is responsible legally for returning that money. So we don't need another session of foot dragging after the exoneration is completed. Then I think it's a matter of restoring reputation. One way to restore reputation is through the honours system. My own instinct is that all of these people should be immediately awarded an OBE, with the senior members probably awarded something higher than that. That would be, again, a gesture that the country can make to these people who have suffered so much. So there we've got, I've advanced 4 stages that can be followed by the government. And if the government wishes to drag its feet further, well, it's just simply acting according to the nature that we have so far observed. 20 years, what's a little bit more time? It's still a disgrace.